Hey, what's up everyone? MonadoMax here, and today we're going to be talking about the Metroid series. Now, you may not realize it, but it is the 35th anniversary, and so much stuff has been coming out for Metroid this year. While I personally believe we are not going to be seeing anything Metroid this year in terms of game releases, I do believe we're going to see a lot of information for Metroid release this year. And a lot of leaks, a lot of rumors have been happening this week especially, so let's dig into all that's been happening with the Metroid series. So let's start off with the obvious one that's been happening, and that is the Metroid Prime designer talking about how don't expect a Nintendo Switch release of the Metroid Prime Trilogy HD. Now, this is just Nintendo trying to clear up what is so obviously happening. This Metroid Prime HD trilogy release has been finished for honestly, it was supposed to be revealed back in December 2018 at the Game Awards, and it was supposed to be released in 2019 to hype up the Metroid Prime 4 release, which was originally going to come out in 2020 before it got canceled, the Bandai Namco version of the game. That's what my leaker says in terms of Metroid Prime 4. The other stuff is knowledgeable, everyone knows about that other stuff. But they're talking about how don't expect a release. It's quite obvious to expect a release. I mean, come on guys. Are you really going to fall for this guy? Especially, I don't know if this guy even works on the Metroid series anymore. It's time to just stop with this. The Metroid Prime HD trilogy, whatever. That's such a weird name. Oh, I don't know what they're going to call it. Metroid Prime Trilogy HD? Is that what they would call it? Anyways, it's still happening. It's supposed to come out whenever Metroid Prime 4 is closer to being finished. I don't really have any indication from my sources of how the development is going for that Metroid Prime game. All I know is that everyone else knows, is that this game is going to release whenever we're getting to those final stages of Metroid Prime 4 and whenever we get to a releasing point of that game. So speaking of Metroid Prime 4, I know some of you guys probably going to ask, do I know anything on what's happening with the game? Honestly, I don't, but I am expecting to get some news this year, whether that's just a little teaser trailer, just another CGI trailer. I think Nintendo's going to do something this year. I don't think Metroid Prime 4 is coming out this year. I don't think any Metroid game is coming out this year, except possibly one thing that we'll be talking about later in the video. I don't know if it's going to be at E3 that we see more about Metroid Prime 4, if it's going to be later in the year, because I am still expecting we're going to have to wait probably 2 more years for Metroid Prime 4. That's my prediction. I could be wrong. Just seeing with everything that's out there, this just seems the most likely approach. One thing I think that's very possible we could see this year is a Metroid 2D game. Everyone's been talking about a Metroid 2D game, and it makes sense. I mean, we don't know what that team that did Metroid Samus Returns on the 3DS, we don't know what they've been cooking up. It's very possible a Metroid 2D game could be coming out, as it's something a lot of people would want. And let's see, Samus Returns released in 2017, so they've been developing something for almost 4 years now. So maybe we could see a Metroid 2D game this year. It's been something that's been rumored for a few years now from very credible people that leaked the whole Mario 35th anniversary, what was going to happen with that, a brand new Paper Mario game. People that leaked that stuff said a 2D Metroid game would be coming. And we haven't heard of anything now, and I feel like it's possible Nintendo would want to release something for Metroid's 35th anniversary, but they have so much that they have to release, that they have on their calendar, that I don't know where they can put a good spot for this game. Maybe I'm wrong, maybe they'll somehow, maybe we'll be starting to see 2 first-party Nintendo games every month soon, because they have a lot to release. One thing I was going to just slightly bring up, I know some people are still somehow convinced that we are getting Samus Returns HD from the little leak that Nintendo accidentally did themselves about with Joy-Cons, and it was showing screenshots of Samus Returns running on the Nintendo Switch. I don't think we're getting that. That's just a mistake from Nintendo's. And however, to be honest with you, I wouldn't mind if we got that on the Switch, just because that game came out towards the end of the 3DS cycle, so it didn't get the sales that it should have had. since the Metroid series, I mean, you could always bring that meme that Nintendo fans always ask for all this stuff and then they never end up paying for it on day one. I don't think that was this situation though with Metroid. Everyone brings that up with Metroid. I just think people were tired of the 3DS at that time and just wanted something for the Switch. I think Metroid's going to sell just so many numbers for the Nintendo Switch whenever they release something. I think a brand new 2D Metroid game is what's on the line, though not a Samus Returns HD port. So obviously, I have to bring this up if we're talking all things that's been happening with Metroid. If you have not heard, Samus has been leaked in the whole Apple versus Epic Games document, and doing some research, all I could find with what's being said about that document, because I'm gonna be honest, I didn't watch the 8-hour video that the Video Game Awards YouTube channel has up where you can listen to everything that's being said. But apparently there's concept art of Samus that looks nothing like a Fortnite concept art. I don't know what Fortnite concept art would be. I don't know if this image that I'm popping up now is actually fan art or how real this is. I don't know. But people are talking about Samus being in Fortnite. And I can tell you that Epic Games and Nintendo have been negotiating, trying to get a Nintendo character in Fortnite. They've been working on this for months, and from my understanding, Nintendo is the ones being difficult about this. But I don't know if anything was agreed. From my understanding a few months ago when I was told about this, they were still negotiating and nothing was agreed. Me personally, I don't think Metroid would be the Fortnite skin we would end up getting if we were getting a Nintendo character. I feel like they would put Link in the game just because it's the 35th Zelda anniversary. I don't know, but I guess Samus does make sense. I think one of the two will be in the game if they can come to an agreement. This is just a wild prediction I want to throw out there. Very wild prediction. Nintendo sometimes throws free online games if you have the Nintendo Switch online membership. They did a Team Kirby Clash game. They did, well, it wasn't really them that did it, but they had Tetris 99, they had Pac-Man 99, they did Super Mario Bros. 35. I feel like it's possible they're going to do a little mini game with the Metroid series, similar to what they did with, what's it called, Metroid Prime Federation Force. They had this little blast ball game that was online. It was a really cool concept, but it was, no one wanted it just because they wanted a real Metroid game, not the spin-off that came out on the 3DS. Because at that timeline, the Metroid series was pretty dead. They weren't getting fed anything. The Metroid fans were getting fed absolutely nothing. They just wanted a new Metroid Prime 4, something like that. And they were given this spin-off game, which had a lot of cool modes that no one really played because it was just not a popular game. No one wanted it, so it was very disliked. They had this blast ball feature, and I kind of would not be surprised if Nintendo did some of those mini games into a free Nintendo Switch Online membership game. Because a lot of the things that people talked about when it comes to good things about Federation Force is blast ball. Imagine if they made a Switch mini game of that for online play. I don't know, just a little thought, a little wild prediction. I think it could happen. I don't know. In case if the Metroid 2D game doesn't happen this year, I think they're going to do something a little special for Metroid. I don't know. Nothing too big, and that kind of fits. It's not something too big, but it's not too small. Well, guys, I've been talking for way too much. I want to know what you guys are thinking. Out of everything we've said today, what do you think is going to happen for the Metroid series? What are your predictions for the 35th anniversary? Do you think anything's going to happen this year? Me personally, I'm not expecting Metroid Prime 4 to come out this year. I'm not expecting Metroid Prime HD Trilogy to come out. I'm expecting that to be released a year before Metroid Prime 4 comes out. And I'm 50-50 on the Metroid 2D game if it's going to happen or not for this year. I think there is a Metroid 2D game in development though, so if that's something that interests you, stay tuned for that. I think we're getting a Nintendo Fortnite skin probably. I just don't know if it's going to be Samus or Link. I think I'm more leaning towards Link, like I said before though. But yeah, I want to know everything you guys are talking about in the comments. Give me your thoughts, all that good stuff. Well, guys, make sure to like the video. Backslash that subscribe button. Follow me on Twitter and check out my Discord server below. By the way, guys, I know that link sometimes doesn't work. If you are trying to get in, just comment and I will give you an actual link. We're having some issues with some of the links, so below the link might not work, but if you really want to join, just comment and I'll give you the legit link. Alright, guys, I will see you guys in the next video. Peace.